So we are doing this as a revision. Revision class 1. So because it's a revision class, we are free to make to pick any question that you feel is of interest in the first topic. Okay, so the first one will come from this of the second session. Yeah, second session, test 1. So consider the sets A runs from 3 to 14, included B from negative infinity to 5, included C from negative 5 to 7, not included, and R is the universal set. Find 1 B minus C, 2 A complement intersection B minus C, 3 find A union B complement intersection C. All these questions each carried 3 marks. Then I say, okay, to find B minus C, part 1, find B minus C. You know that we need to get B intersection C complement. So the minus gives us the complement on the other side and intersection as it goes out. So because we need to use C complement, we must find it. What we have is C. So we must find C complement. C complement is not hard to find. How is it now? Finally. Yes, you can now get me. Okay, so we get C complement. To get C complement, since the universal set is from negative infinity to positive infinity, the complement of any set runs from the left of this universal from negative infinity all the way up to where we find the set C starting from. So starting from negative 5. So we end at negative 5. And then check, is negative 5 in set C? You find it's open there. So you close in the complement. And then union, you skip C and start from 7 where C is ending. Again, you check, is 7 in C? You find it's not in C, meaning it's in the complement, all the way up positive infinity. Then now you say, okay, so I'm getting B, which is from negative infinity up to 5. intersection, the complement from negative infinity up to -5, union from 7 to infinity, like this, which is equal to, now you check, this interval here runs from negative infinity to -5. And this one from negative infinity to +5. So at least we know they are sharing the same starting point on the left. They are all starting from negative infinity. Comma, this one is ending at 5. This one is ending at -5. So we understand that -5 is sitting in this interval on the left. So this should go all the way up to -5, included. But it won't go all the way up to 5 because this interval here does not have 5. It ends at -5 and then it goes all the way and starts from 7. So if I was using a number line, what we are seeing is that the left interval is ending at 5, included, going this side. And then the one on the right has from -5, included, the left, and again starts from 7, included, to the right. So we're looking for the intersection between these three intervals. We realize that these two are counted as one interval. So where do they intersect with the other interval? So we're only seeing an intersection here. That's why we're saying from -infinity to -5, which on the number line becomes up to -5, closed, going to the left. So when they say find the set and present the answer on the number line, you find it, finding it, you mention what it is, and then you present it on the number line. If you are using the number line, then you mention what it is as the answer. That means you have found it and you have managed to display it on the number line. Okay, we got the next one. The next one is A complement union B minus C. Now B minus C has been found here. B minus C has been found as -infinity to -5. Now we want to get A complement intersection B minus C. So we'll start with what A is. A is running from 3 to 14. This is A, and we're talking of A. We're talking of A complement intersection B minus C. So we need to know A complement. Oh, that's okay. Do this, you must be able to get me now. So we say A complement. This is the okay. So A complement will be from -infinity all the way up to where A is starting from. Union, where A is ending, not including up to infinity. So you do the opposite of A at its end and start point. So this intersection, the B minus C, which we got here, so that if you got the wrong B minus C, you have the wrong solution again. So we got from -infinity up to -5 included. So this is one set. So that here now we get intersection. So this interval here has nothing to do with this interval. the two intervals are disjoint. They have no intersection. This interval here and this one. So now, because this is one interval, we'll now talk about this piece versus the piece on the right. So now this piece, they are sharing the same starting point, which is negative infinity. And this is 3. This is negative 5. So before you get to 3, you have negative 5. And then the other set will end at negative 5. The other one will go all the way up to 3, but the intersection will be where both of them are reaching. That's negative infinity to negative 5. If you are using the number line, this is what you will have. You have A from 3 to 14. And then instead of putting A, you put the complement of A. So you open here, going this side. You close here, going this side. This is A complement. This is A complement. And then B minus C is from negative infinity up to negative 5. Close here, go all the way up to this side. Where they intersect here, which is negative infinity to negative 5. That's how you get a solution there. And then the third one is A union B complement. And then intersection C. So we first need A union B complement. A is 3 to 14. Closed. Union B complement. We go to B. B is from negative infinity to 5. So B is from negative infinity to 5. 5 included. So the complement of B is very easy to get. Since we have all the way up negative infinity to 5, then the complement will start from 5 to positive infinity. We check, is 5 in B? Yes, this means included. So here we don't include it in the complement, in the outside of B. Then now we get the union. How do you get the union? You look between this number 3 and 5, which one is smaller than the other for the union? So 3 is smaller than 5. So you start from 3. To check if your interval makes sense, you check if this 5 is also smaller than 14. If 5 is bigger than 14, then the union would just be the same where the interval is appearing here. Now that 5 is less than 14, which is the endpoint of the other interval, it means that we can now run from 3 up to positive infinity. On the number line, you will have something like 3 to 14, and then 5. So 3 to 14. I put 14 here, and then 5 to positive infinity. So the union will be everything. You get everything. So here now we get 3 to positive infinity. And then you say, okay, so I'm dealing with 3 to positive infinity. Intersection C. What is C? C is negative 5 to 7. We use a shortcut. So I have 3 and negative 5. For intersection, I'll look at 3 and negative 5. So between these, I'll get the biggest. I get the bigger number. So 3 is bigger than negative 5. So I'll start from 3 and pick it the way it is, not included. Comma, between positive infinity and 7. So between these two, I get the smaller number. I get the smaller one. So here we get 7. The same way it is. So it means that the intersection is from 3 to 7. And this is how they're intersecting. From 3 to 7. Open, open. So shortcuts sometimes are very, very nice because they save time. So what we're doing is, the number I have here is not big. I just have like 8 participants. So when I give you a task, it should not be hard for you to respond. The task is, let A be equal to -7,7, B be equal to 0,5, and C be equal to -5,1. B subsets of the universal set of real numbers. Are find the set A minus B minus C, expressing your answer in interval notation. And displaying it on the number line. It's a very minor task. That's just a simple set. A direct application of what we are doing here. So we had A, B, C, set of real numbers as the universal set. Here we have same things. We have A, B, C, subsets of the universal set of real numbers. So when you submit before 00, of course today. Mono.
Sir,
To
I have a question. I didn't clearly understand in the first one.
First one is here.
The first one for B minus C.
Okay, here where is it?
Yes.
So for B minus C, we first got C complement because we understand that B minus C is the same thing as B intersection C complement. So you first go for C complement. Now, how do you get C complement? You have the inverse is from -infinity to +infinity. So you go to C and pick whatever is not in C, but is in the inverse. Since C is from -5 to 7, then the complement will run from -infinity up to -5 and skip to start from 7 up to +infinity. But because -5 and +7 are not included in C, they will be included in the complement.
Okay.
That's why the complement comes out like this. And then now, this complement intersection B. If you look at B, B is from negative infinity to 5. And then C complement has two intervals. The other interval of C complement, this one from 7 to infinity, does not intersect with negative 5 to 5. Negative infinity to 5. The two do not meet. So we forget about this one. We concentrate with this one and this one. These two, they are meeting. They are meeting in this very interval, because this interval is actually a subset of this one. So that's why we pick the intersection to be this interval here. And we pick this.
Okay, thank you.
At another hand, see if Selam. Can't get you if you're saying something.
I'm saying, can you kindly repeat on the third question?
On the third one, okay. So on the third one, we have A union B complement, and then intersection C. So what we do is we first get A union B complement. Now, for us to get A union B complement, we need to get B complement first. Since B is from negative infinity to 5, it means that the complement of B will then be from 5 to positive infinity. Since 5 is included in B, it won't be included in the complement. Then we'll now say, okay, because this is B complement, we now want to get a union with A. So unite B complement to A. So then you say, this means that when getting the union between this 3 and 5, you get the smaller number. Pick the smaller number there. And between 14 and infinity, pick the bigger number. When do you pick the smaller number and the bigger number? When you are using union. You start with the smaller and then the bigger number. As you pick, you make sure that if the smaller number, if the smaller number is on the left in this case, you just check if this starting point on the right is less than this one, so that it makes sense that there is an intersection there. So when you get the union, you blow off the whole interval. Because if I'm getting a union of these sets, the other set is starting from here, the other starting from here, the union will still remain like that. So now when you check if 5 is smaller than 14, you're just trying to check if the other interval is starting within an interval. So that you can say, oh, then I'm free now to get the union to be everything. For intersection, after now we get this as a set here. For intersection, we come here and say, oh, seems like the question here. Theory. I'll get you when you ask. Then, after you get this interval here, 3 to infinity, you now bring it and intersect it with C. To intersect, now you do the opposite. Between the left numbers, 3 and negative 5, you pick the bigger number. And then on the right, you pick the smaller number to form a new interval. This interval becomes the intersection and becomes your final solution. That's the final solution is what you take on the number line. So you apply this concept on this question. So here, note don't use the number line. To solve. Just use it to display the final solution. So I want you to use this analysis of smaller, bigger, bigger, smaller, and see if you can get the answer, because I feel this is the shortest. So if you can pick it here, and then as we display, we're getting the art of how to use the number line. Because in most papers that I've marked, I've realized that those who are using the number line were making mistakes, especially when to close, when to open, when to include, when not to include. And then you end up losing out all the marks, because if you just use the number line and it is wrong, then you get 0. But if you use a method and you simplify a bit, if there's need for simplification, you get marks for doing that. At least you get marks up to where you get the question. Okay, then so agreed. This one you submit, and I'll check. So this session we will end it here. So we'll log out and quickly log back. Okay, because you're using a Zoom which is 40 minutes. So I'll cut and then you join again using the same link and the same password. Let's do it quickly.